If you're struggling to get high kill games or losing every match, then you need to watch this video. I'm going to be helping you improve your gameplay and prevent you from getting frustrated in Area 99, especially with how many teams are stacking right now. So let's get started. Where you land is crucial. This is the beginning of how you're going to start in your lobby. Let's first start with the areas to avoid. Areas to avoid as a player that is still learning to get better are Nuketown shipping, manufacturing, mannequin assembly, and test site are relatively hot areas to drop. These areas are congested and you could easily get wiped from a third party in a higher ground location. So if you're still trying to get better at the game, then land in the safer spots to allow yourself to get your loadout or good loot before you start pushing enemy teams. I've heard many people say that you should land in hotter areas and have more enemies to make yourself better. Note, this can be true. However, if you land in hot areas and continue to die and then go back over and over and over, you're not only losing valuable time, but you're also letting enemies get easy kills off of you, aka you're getting farmed. Dude, why do you keep coming back, my guy? I really want to get this guy because he's really making me mad. As a newbie, or even a better than average player, it's best to drop the eagle and get the essential loot for you to take on a proper fight. Unless the team gets wiped, there's plenty of time in the lobby for you to face the same enemies again. Safe areas to land is outer part of reactor, loading bay, and bunker. Oftentimes, you won't see many teams land in these areas. The best area that I land is the outer parts of reactor because I typically get good loot and can easily third-party teams that are fighting down in Nuketown shipping. For 50-50 locations, meaning sometimes hot or safe, would be pods, warehouse, and cooling towers. If you want to land in a hotter area, then I recommend landing on the bottom because teams typically land on the roof fighting over minimal amounts of loot. Let's move on to the next tip, which is something simple to keep in mind, but I don't see many players do it. When you pick up weapons off the ground, you receive its gun animation. This also occurs when you grab your loadout from your loadout crate. To remove the animation, double press the weapon swap button or YY so you're prepared to take on a fight a lot faster. Once you get better at canceling the weapon animation, you'll be able to engage in gunfights faster, especially against enemies that are camping your loadout crate. Here's another quick and easy tip before you dive into more complex tips. The gas animation can take a long time and can ultimately get you killed. The best way to cancel this animation is when you are plating, pick up the gas mask and it'll eliminate the animation, allowing you to be ready for any gunfight. The best way to make sure you don't have the gas mask animation is by going into your game settings and making sure your insert plates setting is changed to apply all. If you ever hear enemies say, "How do they know where I am?" or "This guy's cheating," that is because every time you get a kill, the enemy teammates will ping on the minimap, allowing you to know where all of them are located. So make sure you're constantly looking at the minimap throughout the game, especially each time you get a kill. If you are more of an aggressive player, then you will want to hear this next tip, because if you want to land lower to the ground to beat other players, then here's what you need to do. The first thing is to make sure your auto deploy button is turned off in your settings. As you are landing towards a building, you want to angle yourself to either mantle on the ledge, or if you time it right, you can instantly land without breaking your legs. With the new Season 2 update, they have fixed the cutting of the parachute delay, allowing you to sprint once you touch the ground. This can take some practice, but once you master it, you can land faster before any other player and be able to have an upper advantage against these players. This next tip is going to be extremely crucial to your gameplay. A lot of you know this tip already, but we still don't seem to apply it towards our gameplay. Centering is one of the most important tips you need to apply to your gameplay. What I mean by centering is you want to be able to have your crosshairs in the center of your screen. This allows you to shoot in the center of your enemies or slightly above towards the head. This will allow you to win more gunfights overall. Do your best when you're running around looting or finding enemies that your crosshairs stay in the center of your screen and not towards the ground. If you're caught with the crosshairs pointed more to the ground, you'll often lose gunfights, especially if you're caught off guard by an enemy, which happens a lot in Area 99. Once you get used to centering, you can apply jitter aiming. Jitter aiming is literally spamming your aim button repeatedly while moving forward, aka pre-aiming. This will help you to always be ready for an enemy that may surprise you. Another quick tip with aiming is being able to ADS and then un-ADS to switch targets and then re-ADS to lock onto the next target. This allows you to lock onto one player and then move onto the next target immediately, instead of holding down your ADS button the entire time, especially if your horizontal aim sense is low. Zip lines are all around Area 99, allowing you to get to different locations faster as well as higher ground. However, I'm going to be showing you how to use zip lines to your advantage by increasing your game sense to throw off enemies that may be following you. Oftentimes when I'm in a gunfight and I know there are zip lines near me, I'll often use these zip lines to manipulate enemies. As you can see in this example, I was shot from someone behind me. While they were chasing me, I encountered another enemy I was able to get the knock on that enemy and then jump out of the window, rappel up, making the enemy who was chasing me confused. While I rappelled up, I was able to knock the enemy flying in as well as the enemy grabbing the loadout. This really confused the enemy who was chasing me, allowing him to make a poor decision by going up the ladder. Yeah, he didn't think I was up there easy. Once I was able to hear him go up the ladder, I knew that it was a very easy kill for me. As you are playing in Area 99, start getting familiar with all the different rappels throughout the map to help you escape tough situations and getting yourself in a better position. If you're enjoying this video so far, I'd greatly appreciate it if you give this video a like if you found any value. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to continue to get more educational videos like this. The next tip is a term that many people know or have heard of before. Shouldering is moving left or right behind cover to gather information as far as seeing if enemies are looking or pushing towards your way. Shouldering can also help you while you're plating or reloading. This is also beneficial because you're only showing a small amount of your body to prevent enemies from beaming you, just like you see in this clip. After knocking the first enemy out of the 3, I went behind the bus to plate. While I was plating, I was shouldering and noticed I had 2 enemies pushing me on both sides. The enemy on the left was pushing closer towards me than the enemy on the right. After timing it right, I pushed out and challenged the enemy on the left and then quickly faced the enemy on the right, making it an easy 3-piece kill. The previous tip is only a part of the overall tip I'm going to talk to you about right now, which is finding cover to your advantage. When you are engaging in enemy fights, it is important to always find nearby cover. Finding cover will prevent you from getting caught out in the open and allows you to fight multiple enemies at once. There are a lot of locations in Area 99 that allows you to head glitch. For example, at the cooling towers, I was able to head glitch right at the staircase while the enemy player showed himself from the chest up. Even if you can't find nearby cover, you can always use the ledges, allowing you to show a small percent of your body. Here's an example of using a ledge as cover from the enemy's point of view.
What the f is vaporizer? This thing is bad.
Oh, get on somewhere, you so
This next tip is something that I don't see a lot of players do. During majority of gunfights, you will lose plates in the process. If you need to relocate into a better position or running away from an enemy chasing you, you always need to make sure that you plate while running at the same time. Plating while moving allows you to get back into gunfights faster. Even if you're able to only put in 1 or 2 plates before re-challenging the enemy, is better than having no plates. If you want to win more gunfights, then this next tip is going to be very important to you. Your reaction time is key in order to win gunfights and having a good pace for a high kill game. Your reaction time also applies to looting crates or using the buy station. The faster you react, the sooner you can rotate to find enemies and dominate the lobby. If you want to have higher kill games, then you need to start reacting faster than the enemies that challenge you. This is what I mean by reaction time.
Oh my god.
Marking the rest of that squad.
He game hacking, bro. There's no way that he knew where he was at.
Once you improve your centering and you're able to plate while you move, as well as faster reaction time, then this next tip will be very easy for you to apply. When fighting multiple enemies at once, apply the 3 R's to your gameplay. Reload, replate, and rotate.
Down the rest of them. Squad mates back on station. Good work.
When you are putting yourself into mini gunfights during a match, you will constantly be reloading and replating as you're rotating behind cover or into a better position to wipe those enemies. When it comes to being a 1v4 situation, here's what you need to apply. Make sure a team is not chasing towards you from multiple locations, aka getting sandwiched. If possible, rotate and have majority of them facing one direction. Next, you want to be able to knock at least 1 or 2 of the enemies. This typically puts the enemy team in a panic. One enemy will try to revive while the other one defends. Note that it is easier to keep a distance to knock the first 1 or 2 enemies before rushing towards them, as well as trying to separate the enemy team so you don't get stacked. Once you know that the 2 enemies are knocked, it is important to react fast and be able to be aggressive when facing the other 2 enemies. Here's an example of a close quarter engagement of a 1v4 situation.
Enemy destroyed. Use your tac map to hunt down the rest of them. Operators from that squad. Hunt.
The most important thing is to not be discouraged if you can't always win your 1v4s or even 1v3 situations. Learn from your mistakes and use that knowledge for the next time you face multiple enemies at once. Let's be honest here, the audio in this game is not always the greatest. Sometimes we can hear enemies clearly, other times we don't hear them running right up to us. However, the times that we do hear the enemies is important to enhance your game sense. In this clip, you'll hear me say I am trapped because I was shot in the back by an enemy, but I heard another enemy come up the stairs. I'm trapped for a second. Once I challenged the first enemy, not only did I see them on the minimap, but I could also hear them sprinting towards me. After wiping those two enemies, I saw on the minimap that their teammate was moving towards me. Listen carefully as you can hear his footsteps, and then it completely stops. That is when I knew he was crouch walking up the stairs to catch me off guard. It's important to understand the different types of audio sounds. This includes rooftop tiles, sand, wood flooring, and concrete. Once you can tell a difference with the different audio sounds, you can figure out where the enemy will be coming from, allowing you to surprise them. If you want to consistently get kills, then you need to have the right pacing. Many players are still trying to get their first 20 bomb. So follow this pacing to ensure yourself that you're on track for your first 20 kill game. Remember the numbers 6, 4, 4, 6. This means you want to be able to get 6 kills in the first circle. The first circle is when players are looting or they drop in hotter areas to get more kills at the beginning of the game. In the second circle and third circle, many teams will start to have their loadout and find areas to camp, so your pacing may be slower. You need to have 4 kills in the second circle and 4 kills in the third circle. In the final circle of the game is when all enemies are moved in by the gas. This is when you start to be more aggressive and ultimately getting 6 kills in the final circles of the game. Just make sure you have good rotations and fast reactions during the end part of the game. If you made this far in the video, congratulations, because I'm going to be sharing a bonus tip with you. If you really want to start playing like an above average player, then here's the key. The key is knowing when to push and when to be patient. When it comes to high KD players, they know how to pace themselves in any situation. This means knowing when to be aggressive and when to be patient and slow their gameplay down to make smarter moves. So each time you're in a game, have more awareness of the situation you're in by knowing when you can be aggressive against multiple enemies and know when it may take longer to fight an enemy team based on their location and skill level. These are just some of the tips that help me improve my gameplay in KD and Area 99, regardless of the stacking issues. Let me know what other tips you'd like me to add in the comments below for a next video. I guarantee that once you start applying these tips, you will drastically improve your gameplay, giving you higher kills and more wins. Just remember that this will take time and you won't be able to apply all the tips at once. So take your time, improve just a little bit each time that you play. Make sure to share this video to a friend that also needs help. Also, let me know in the comments below what tip helped you out the most. I appreciate you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. GG's.